You're live on Joy News Desk. Now, private legal practitioner Martin Pebu says a refusal to sack Health Minister Kwaku Agyemang would cost or could cost the New Patriotic Party NPP the coming elections. Mr. Pebu likens this incident to the Woyomi Judgment Debt saga, which dominated discussions around the NDC administration of 2009 to 2016. Now, the lawyer who has been vocal in his calls for the resignation of Kwaku Agyemang has been reacting to a recording of President Akufo-Addo, in which the president referred to Mr. Agyemang's controversy as his receiving slaps from the public. Let's hear from Martin Pebu.
If the president could defend him, oh, trust me, he wouldn't have wasted any time at all in coming to his defense. Because, you see, the issues are all clear. I mean, Mr. Agyemang is lost on all the grounds. The plethora of lies is told embarrassed us. I mean, these lies were just one too many. And don't forget, as we keep speaking now, there was somebody who had a direct relationship with the distributor in Russia, who was going to sell us this vaccine for $12.5. Ask Mr. Agyemang to date. They didn't sign with him. They didn't sign that contract, but he chose to go and sign for $19. I mean, such an abuse of the public purse. Oh, Mr. Agyemang will pay a high price for this thing. He's really going to pay. I mean, you see, it's time our politicians realize that Ghana has changed. Citizens are engaging, you see, and in this era of freedom of information, yeah, you think twice before you do that. The mess Mr. Agyemang has created reflects also on the president too. Yeah, it doesn't need anybody to say anything. We don't need to say anything. It's clear. Because, you see, so the more he keeps him in government, then the more it becomes a reflection of the president's own stewardship. And I'm not sure the president wants to suffer this. In any event, what is it that's so special about Mr. Agyemang that the president wants to continue to suffer politically? So, well, for me, I'll be very surprised. For now, the way I really see it is that Mr. Agyemang's days are numbered. Because, look, don't underestimate Ghanaians. This country is changing. This country is changed. As I told you, remember the Woyomi saga? It stretched 2 elections. And by the second election, yeah, the message had sunk. Sunk in. Well. So this one, whether Mr. Agyemang is sacked or not, it's heading for the same trajectory. You see?
Live on Joy News Desk. Now, the World Health Organization says it has detected a highly infectious and deadly viral disease, which it says has a potential to spread far and wide. Now, in a statement, the WHO said the first patient identified in southern Guinea has already died of the disease. Marburg virus disease is said to be in the family of the Ebola virus and has case fatality rate of up to 88%. The WHO has already begun cross-border surveillance with neighboring countries put on alert. We'll get more on this story later in the bulletin. You're live on Joy News Desk with me, Daniel Dazina. The president of the Poultry Farmers Association, Victor Opon, says the industry is on the verge of collapse. Speaking on the AM show, Mr. Victor Opon outlined a plethora of challenges confronting the poultry farmers.
Main challenge has been the feed. Basically, the maize, soya, and the wheat bran, which has been a big challenge. Last year, we were buying 50 kilo weight of maize at 65 Ghana cedis. And as we speak now, the same weight, we are buying it at 150 Ghana cedis, which is more than 100% increase. Soya, which was about 140 Ghana cedis per 50 kilo weight, is now 210 Ghana cedis by the same weight. And wheat bran, which was about 15 to 20 cedis per 25 kilo weight, is now 45 Ghana cedis. So you can see that the basic or the main ingredients of the feed have increased over 100%. That was the reason why we decided to adjust the price of eggs. But let me say that for the past 3 years, a single egg is sold at 1 cedi. So a tray of egg is about 30 Ghana cedis. So even if we are using the past year's price of tray, egg tray as a basis, you could see that if egg is sold at 22 cedis per tray, we still have a difference of eight cedis between the farm gate and the final consumer. But we all know that egg tray, the profit margin is between 1 cedi and 2 cedis. So even if we have increased the prices by that margin, I don't think it will affect the final consumer. But as we speak now, one egg is sold at 1 cedi 20 pesos, some 1 cedi 50 pesos, which comes to 36 cedis and 45 cedis. So I don't think it's a border if we also try to adjust our egg prices because of the increase of feed, which has gone up over 100%. We've had a lot of discussions with the ministry. It started when we realized that the neighboring countries are purchasing our maize outside to their various countries. And we thought that there would be a block, but we allowed them to buy all the maize from this country. It's not like the maize were not here. We had a lot of yield. The yield has increased because of the planting for food and jobs. But we allowed the neighboring countries to buy the maize, and we in turn suffer. And later we have to import maize. And you know, the world market price of maize continues to go up. So that is how it is affecting the poultry industry. As we speak now, people are trying to bring maize from Cote d'Ivoire and other places, but still prices are very, very, very high. And that's how it's affecting the industry. Except that the wheat brand is produced locally, but still sometimes you not even get the local one, we have to import. And that one too, we had a meeting with them, with the minister, and he has given us the assurance that the local producers should look at the local farms before exporting. I understand they are also exporting to various countries. So that is how the poultry industry is suffering. Because if the feed cost goes up, it affects everything in the industry because maize takes about 50 to 60% of the feed input. Soya takes about 15 to 20%. Then the remaining will be the wheat bran and other small things. So the moment the prices of maize goes up, it affects everything. And that is how the industry is suffering. And I can say that it's not only suffering, but it is on the verge of collapse. The poultry is on the verge of collapse. People are selling their birds prematurely. And it's about time that an immediate intervention is done to it. We are pleading with the government that I understand now they are not even getting fertilizer, which is also a challenge. So the government should try as much as possible to get the fertilizer to the farmers so that they can also use to produce the maize for the local industry.
And that was President of the Poultry Farmers Association of Ghana. We'll get more on that story later. Now, he has been saying, let me just add this, that previous experiences with the bird flu has given them the capacity to manage the current situation better.
The experience that we had from 2007 to 2018, it has given experience to the veterinary service to avert the spread of the disease. So far, 4 regions that have been affected since July, that we had the first one in Greater Accra, it has not spread further. And I'm giving credit to the veterinary and even the 2 deputy ministers of food and agriculture. They are always with the team to inspect and also to advise farmers. You know, since this bird flu came, we've done a lot of sensitization to the poultry farmers that they should intensify their biosecurity. When we talk of biosecurity, we are talking of life and protection. So we've asked them to intensify it, especially the vehicles that are coming to the farms, that every farmer should have a vehicular bath so that water and disinfectant will be put in it and all cars coming to the farms have to pass through the vehicular bath. And also, we've advised them to have foot baths, that anyone coming to the farm should step in before he enters the place. We've also asked them not to litter around with the carcass, dead birds, because that will invite the migrating birds, which are the carriers of the virus. That if you litter around the carcass, the migrating birds will come down to feed on it, and their droppings will leave you with the virus. So we are doing a lot of sensitization to the farmers in order not to prevent the spread. And we also ask them to report every dead bird and sick bird to the veterinary services. We know that definitely there's arrangement to pay compensation to the farmers. So with this, farmers are reporting dead birds and sick birds to the veterinary services to come there and do diagnosis. If they realize that it's a bird flu, then automatically the whole bird should be depopulated.
Now, President Akufo-Addo says he will be cutting the sword next week for work to begin on the construction of the 101 district hospitals he promised last year. He told a gathering of chiefs and people of Brekum on the first day of his two-day working visit to the Bono region that the availability of lands and funds will now pave the way for the project for the districts without district hospitals to promote quality health delivery amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. Precious Semevo has more.
The president started the two-day working visit in the Bono region Tuesday morning with a radio interview on Radio BAR in Sunyani and a visit to the chiefs at the Sunyani Traditional Council. Kruntinghini of the Sunyani Traditional Area, Obuaman Bofutia Buamponsem, speaking on behalf of the Paramount Chief Nana Bosoma Asonkrewe II, thanked the president and his government for the numerous ongoing projects, including the Sino Hydro project under which the Sunyani Ring Road is being constructed and the ongoing Sunyani Yahima Road, among others. He, however, made some appeals.
Teaching hospital. Sunyani town roads, as I said, very low.
In his response, the president, Nana Akufo-Addo, said roads in Sunyani are dear to his heart, and just like other projects, he will see to their successful completion.
Sunyani town roads I'm going to make sure that it is completed. Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources will be German after so $200 million project. The money has been secured. A procurement it's every year Tsunami Water Project expansion. Sports stadium will say that sports stadium was we're going to work on it, and I'm sure before I leave the seat, there will be something for me. I'm also in Germany. We'll concentrate PPH. Why you go to the Kazakas or Ghana?
In Brekum, the Sebre Dr. Mankonadi Award II, Paramount Chief of Brekum, appealed to the President for a vocational and technical university to train the youth in employable skills. President Nana Akufo-Addo on his part said sword will be cut next week for the construction of the 101 district hospitals he promised last year.
District hospitals, Ebebaha, Ebe Brekum, East, New West, Milano. Now, what you have, Baba Sheda, Akokati sword. Emma 101 district hospitals or districts any district hospitals will be our Ghana. Assassin ya shisha to her contractors so ya selected contractor for Sikaso and Besha so ya board we see her. It's a fee next week we come. Who say Besha Brekum College of Education. Well-known college of education. Examining Ministry of Education for child near and no nearby transform into a TVET institute, or we're going to have to do a brand new university. But we will be talking about it with the authorities.
Later at a short ceremony, the president commissioned the Wedi Africa Tomato Processing Factory and Agro Farms at Domfete in the Brekum West District under the One District, One Factory. He also paid a courtesy call on the chief of Wemfie in the Doma East District and inspected a 40.7 kilometer Wemfie Adiembra and Trikrom feeder road. James Opon is the Bono Regional Manager, Feeder Roads.
This is a very important road because it serves a lot of communities around. It's also in the district. It leads Sunyani as well as our region. And it serves a lot of communities, farmers to be able to transport their farms. So it's a very, very socio-economic important road.
For Joy News, Precious Semevo, Wemfie.
Now, residents of 5 affected mining communities in the Ahafo region are agitating against what they allege to be unfair treatment by Newmont Ghana. The locals are unhappy at the total rejection of their inputs into a new agreement with a multinational gold mining company, with the exception of 100% employment opportunities for unskilled residents. The coalition of affected communities is also upset that the 8-year mandate of the moderator and co-moderator of the Ahafo Social Responsibility Forum, ASRF, expired in 2018, but they remain in office. Efforts by JoyNews for Newmont to respond to the concerns of the communities have not been fruitful. A report by Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin.
The communities say the agreements reached have been shelved. They are Kenyasi number 1, Kenyasi number 2, Ntontroso, Jedu and Wamahenso. They claim the moderators' actions seek to favor Newmont, which has already affected portions of agreements that share the Newmont Ahafo Development Fund to all the 10 communities in the area.
The moderator, I have been on the forum for my first time, and the moderator doesn't give room for people to express themselves. What the moderator does is to possibly read or mention what he thinks or what has been discussed with Newmont and or at the standing committee level. Then they only come and then present it, brush it through, and the majority of the people who go there may not necessarily challenge or say anything, and that so it becomes something that has been accepted. And this is how the forum has been.
The coalition also demands Newmont Ghana Limited validates their employees annually to afford them the opportunity to know how many residents have been employed. Revalidation is when a community reaffirms its members who are working with Newmont or her contractors.
The company has also made an employment agreement with the community, which is also in the social responsibility agreement. Over the years, the company made an agreement that they were going to give about some percentage to the community. They gave 35% initially. But what the community saw was that when the agreement came out, it was reduced to about 24. And this is what we think is something that has passed through the back door into the agreement. Because at the meeting, you said you were going to give 35%, but what we realized was it was 24%. This was a step in the back. This current one that is going on, people agreed, Nananum and everybody at the forum agreed that they were going to give 53%. But when the draft came out that they were going to prepare to sign, we saw that it has reduced from 53 to 35. So had it not been some vigilance that some of us went through it and we saw it, people were going to sign it like that and it will come and it is 35 instead of 53.
Percentages in Newmont's fund contribution were part of the petition sent to the company.
Also, the percentage of good given, the percentage of money is given from the proceeds of the good, that's the ounces of good produced and how much is given, is what we are not happy about. As some of our brothers have earlier talked about, since 2008, price of an ounce of gold was around $800. Now, as of even October last year, it was around 1,946.8. So recently it is around 1,008, So it's more than double of what was being procured for or what was given in 2008. Yet till now the $1 is still given. So imagine $1 given to a whole 10 communities and 1,945 given to Newmont. It's too much a cheat. Here we want to say that we do not need any $1. So we want percentages so that whether it goes up or down, the percentage will be far better even on our petitions. So we just want to say that we are standing at 3%, so that at least the 3% we can use some to build our infrastructure, we can build some roads, we can build schools, we can build other things, so that if Newmont is not here one day, we would still not regret so much that Newmont came to our land.
They also want the standing committees abolished and full strength given to the forum where members, including chiefs, make decisions.
We therefore want the standing committee situation to change. There shouldn't be anything called standing committee. Forum is forum. Anything to be discussed should be discussed at forum. Just write out. Not that we go, few people go there and get somewhere. It brings mistrust between some Nananom and even the youth. They think that Nananom have been possibly, excuse my words, bribed or something. When it has never been the case, because I don't know Nananom, they were those who created this forum. Nananom made sure that this forum comes into being. It was non-existent until some Nananom got together and involved some Newmont officials at that time. I remember of Mr. Atwabin and others who created this forum. So Nananom are always to help us, but how Newmont try to coin and corner them and then insist on what they have, Nananom will always have to give in, and at the end it will affect the communities. So we just want the standing committee to be abrogated, and everything should be brought to forum where necessary, and there is the need for any other discussion. Then it will be an ad hoc committee that is created to look into that, and after that, that is all.
Mr. Yeboah says several petitions to Newmont management have not yielded any positive results. Efforts by JoyNews for Newmont to respond to the concerns of the communities have not been fruitful. The coalition wants the intervention of the government and Asantehene to address their concerns. A report by Mohamed Nuruddin.
Now, Ghana's education has always been long on theory and short on practicals. The result is that the country depends so much on foreign countries for various technological inventions. The Ministry of Education wants to reverse this trend by improving science, technology, engineering and mathematics education in Ghana. My colleague, Judith Alchitando, attended a stakeholder consultative meeting in that regard and filed the following report.
Meet Isaac Owusu-Ansah, a teenage boy from the Koforidua Secondary Technical School who invented a robotic airplane but lacks the required resources to finish his invention.
I don't have the amount of money that I'm going to use to buy a product to add to my project.
He is among the many young people with great innovative ideas, yet are limited either by financial constraints or the lack of science and technology resource centers. The Education Ministry, however, intends to change this narrative. At a stakeholders consultation meeting to promote science, technology, engineering and mathematics education in Ghana, Minister for Education Dr. Yawedu explained the need to open Ghana's education system to the benefits of STEM.
The lower secondary of end of 10th is what I was speaking to, that is the junior high school. That to me is the weakest link in our education system at this time. When you have students going through situations where the lower secondary experience is just like primary school, we're not going to have a robust secondary education program in terms of STEM, for example. So when we talk about STEM, we're talking about both junior high and high school combined. So we have 6 years of activities that will then dovetail into programs at the university so that our students will be fully prepared for the 21st century.
He further highlighted some interventions the ministry intends to implement.
First of all, coding is now beginning from primary 4. It's required. So, which means that now you are not just looking at waiting till the universities to look at all the things that is going on, but you are creating a pipeline. Smart schools that we are talking about, as President has graciously funded, those new schools will open. And then we have STEM centers in 20 other senior high schools. So those are existing senior high schools where STEM is going to be infused into the teaching and learning process. So that will be the starting point, or what I call phase 1.
The event was followed by a robotics exhibition where various companies showcased their prototypes made right here in Ghana.
These are deck science set products made in Ghana, which is solving the STEM problem. This is the first STEM product made in Ghana to be approved by NACA, that is the official body for standardization of our content. So in here, we have activities that covers electronics. Every single activity that is supposed to be done in the new curriculum is rightfully captured here. So beside every science textbook, there's supposed to be a DEX science set, from digestion to creation of thermometers, understanding between temperature and then heat. It's all covered here.
If I should pick the military, there are some places where it would be dangerous for woman, as a woman being, to go there, and the mining sector. So normally they use this robotics or robots to go there. A camera can be mounted on this robotic car, so that the person will be in a room, but at the same time monitoring whatever is going underground.
Inventors say they expect to see Ghana making better use of technology, especially in schools in the next few years. Seth Ogoeyim is co-founder of Bountiful Technologies.
With that program, one other thing I want to say, we want to create a pipeline where we can have more Ghanaian students pursuing engineering, pursuing computer science, biomedical, artificial intelligence, especially the girls. We want to see the girls in STEM. And then we also want to see Ghanaian students creating their own solutions and be able to sell on the world market.
The ministry, through this initiative, wants to create a better future for the Ghanaian youth. Judith Awotretando, JoyNews.
Now, journalists across Ghana will benefit from a training program to enhance journalistic reportage of statistical data to be able to advocate for data-driven policies, decision-making, planning, monitoring, and evaluation. The Ghana Statistical Service and United Nations Development Program with Ghana Institute of Journalism is beginning an enrollment program involving journalists to be able to carry out media capacity development and certification in statistical data communications. Director for Census and Surveys of Ghana Statistical Service, Abna Osea Koto, explained the reasons behind this.
The Statistical Service has been coming up with statistics, and the media has been helping us in bringing the statistics up and getting it appreciated. But they're coming up, they will also need what went into the production of the statistics, interpreting it right, and also appreciating the use of it. So this brought about the need for us to have partnership to help educate the journalists in appreciating the statistics being churned out by Statistical Service, what went into the processing of the statistics, in order for them to also appreciate it and interpret them rightly. And then, in its usage, to also bring about development in our societies. So basically, the idea is to help educate and help appreciate the use of statistics. And in so doing, they can, since they are the mouthpiece to the populace, they can also help educate the populace to appreciate the use and then interpreting statistics being churned out in order to help improve our environment.
Now, economic advisor for UNDP, Frederick Mugisha, explained the objectives following this initiative.
So, the real objective is to make sure that we bridge this gap between statistics and change in people's lives. The journalists have a very big role to play, to inform the public, to hold us accountable, but also to shape the development conversation. What should the country be looking at? And what statistics does, it helps bring that into perspective. And where we can do that without statistics, when we have statistics, it is easier for everybody. And so if you can imagine this partnership that Ghana Statistical Service and Ghana Institute of Journalism are undertaking, it means that because it is kind of a modular, you go through several stages. It means at any one stage, you can be able to do certain things. But it also means that even when you are not a journalist, like me, I can enroll and learn so I can be able to do my work better. So that's really the point.
Now, for the first time in the history of Kintampo, an agri-inputs fair designed to develop a conducive business climate for energetic, innovative entrepreneurs in mango production was organized for mango farmers across the area. Speaking at the opening of the event held at the forecourt of the Kintampo North Ministry of Food and Agriculture Office, Programs Manager for HortiFresh West Africa, Mrs. Sheila Asibe-Yeboah, indicated that the fair seeks to promote and improve the fruit and vegetable sector in the country, as well as promote trade and stakeholder engagement. Anna Sabit has more.
The first ever agri-inputs fair for mango farmers across the Kintampo North municipality was designed to develop a conducive business climate for energetic, innovative entrepreneurs in the mango industry. The program, held under the theme Promoting Quality Agri-Inputs within the mango sector for a competitive domestic and export market, forms part of HortiFresh's mission to develop an internationally competitive and suitable fresh and vegetable sector in Ghana. Mrs. Sheila Asibe-Yeboah is the Programs Manager for HortiFresh West Africa.
This is a fair which we do in most places, in a lot of places, but in Kintampo, this is our first time of coming here. We realize that most of the farmers here have no idea where to market, but to sell to the main conventional marketers, which is the big processors and then the market women. They had no idea that there were other channels to market their produce. And so this is an opportunity for them to learn and also to interact with other actors along the value chain. We have service providers, we have the small processors, the large processors, we have input dealers here, we have the financial institutions also here. And so it's mainly to throw more light to most of the actors here on what's available and how to enhance their production processes.
Mrs. Asibe-Yeboah, who is impressed with the farmer response, is however hopeful that the engagement will go a long way to benefit farmers in the area.
The farmer response is good, the turnout is very encouraging, and we are hoping that they get something out of it. I think this will benefit farmers even more than the other actors who have shown up, and so we are looking forward to feedback.
Speaking at the opening of the event in Kintampo, District Director of Agriculture, Mr. Simon Yambon, indicated that the fair would help build a better relationship amongst the sector players, thereby boost production and quality of the fruits.
We'll build a relationship between the farmers and the input dealers, processors, and all the other actors in the mango industry. So these farmers can now have access to these input dealers. If he's having any challenge, he can call. He can order any chemical or any implement he wants from these people. And it's going to help our production, increase production and quality of the fruits.
He added that the fair would help address some of the challenges facing the mango industry by exposing these farmers to some solutions towards combating pests on their farms.
In fact, this fair has been very good to farmers, especially mango farmers, because a lot of the farmers know how to do the farming, but how to go for right inputs sometimes is a problem. Secondly, how to use the implements to, somebody wants everything to be okay, but where to get the implements also becomes another problem.
He, however, called on government to intervene by subsidizing the cost of the inputs to help fight the growing pest challenges in the sector.
As they introduce some of the chemicals to us, we have seen that a lot of them are a little bit expensive, which farmers like to buy, but because of the price. So if the government can subsidize them for us.
Reporting for JoyNews, Anas Sabit, Kintampo.
You're live on Joy News Desk with me, with Daniel Dazi. Up next is Daryl Kwao with business.
Hello, welcome to Business. My name is Daryl Kwao. The Finance Ministry has begun a series of programs aimed at plugging revenue loopholes in the country. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta disclosed this when he inaugurated the board of the Ghana Revenue Authority in Accra. George Afe has more.
Member board is chaired by former president of the Association of Ghana Industries and managing director of Topical Cables and Conductors, Tony Otinjesi. The finance minister, in inaugurating the board, noted that they are working closely with the Ghana Revenue Authority on several programs, which he believes will go a long way to improve collections.
It's even more onerous and challenging as we begin to look at the role of the SEC or the capital markets, in the development of the country. The challenges are enormous, and the issue of the gap between our short-term funds and how to reconstitute our long-term funds is going to be crucial to our development. And so your role in facilitating, promoting this is key to Ghana's transformation.
On a spot, chairman of the board, Tony Otinjesi, noted that they appreciate the challenge ahead and will do everything to improve collections.
Of finance, but the honor done us and asking us to chair and also to serve on this board as members. We acknowledge the strategic importance of GRA in our economy, and we have duly taken note of the minister's message this morning with very, very keen interest. In particular, I think he has set out our job for us.
In a related development, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has also inaugurated the reconstituted boards of Social Security and National Insurance Trust and the Securities and Exchange Commission Board. The 13-member Senate board is chaired by former Minister of State for Tertiary Education and veteran journalist Elizabeth Ohene. The board of the Securities and Exchange Commission is chaired by Dr. Yeboah. The minister later disclosed that the Senate board must work hard to address concerns of workers when it comes to their benefits.
Over the past 4 years, over 10 billion cedis, nearly all collections, was spent paying pensions and other benefits. This impugns the long-term sustainability of the scheme, and I truly, as I mentioned 4 years ago also, charged the board to commence stakeholder consultation towards new innovative funding options for the scheme, and also looking at the issues of retirement, etc., to make the scheme stronger.
Chair Board Elizabeth Ohene noted that together with other board members will be working hard to deal with the numerous challenges facing the trust.
I assure you, Honorable Minister, we will stay faithful to the tenets of Act 766 and ensure stakeholder involvement to be aware of changing needs and aspirations. I have a personal interest. I'm a SNIT pensioner, and I suspect I don't need to add more than that.
Board chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Dr. Yeboah, noted that they are committed to making Ghana a financial hub and protecting the interest of investors on the capital market in the country.
Now, organized labor has expressed worry about the rising cost of living, which has reduced real incomes. Now, real wage has declined since 2012, and the group, made up of several labor organizations, wants government to immediately address the challenge. General Secretary of the Trades Union Congress, Dr. Yalban, disclosed this at a labor perspective of the mid-year budget review. Here's more.
The event, heavily attended by members of organized labor, Dr. Yalban said, analyzing from inflation and exchange rate perspective, workers' real incomes based on the minimum wage have taken a nosedive. He said job losses, reduced pay, and wage awards below inflation have occasioned suffering. He therefore urged government to support the citizens to reduce the suffering.
Real wage for public sector workers has started declining, and it is not right. We should make sure that the single spine is designed to ensure that real wages actually increase, but not decline. And I think we have people and expertise in this country to be able to do it, to ensure that even negotiation can be tied to it. We work out the real wages and see if the real wage from one year to the other is declining, government adjusts pay such that real wage will not decline.
Dr. Yalban also called for a reform of the Bank of Ghana to strengthen its regulation in order to prevent bank failures in the future. Organized labor is unhappy that 22 billion cedis was spent to clean up the banking sector, but the situation that triggered the collapse of the banks have not been addressed.
If you are using 22 billion to clean the banks, this is expensive. There are very few things that cost that much. And if a reform should cost 22 billion, it means that we have really spent money on this. And what we are saying here is this, that if you look at how much money we have spent to make sure the banks are clean, we should never make a mistake of going back to that state again. Therefore, the Bank of Ghana itself must have to be reformed.
Organized labor is made up of several workers' unions, including Local Government Workers' Union, Health Services Workers' Union, Public Services Union, and Ghana Mine Workers' Union.
And that's all in business for now. My name is Darryl Kwao. Sports is coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
My name is Daniel Dazi. Up next is Mapito Sebidi with JoyNews Interactive. I'll see you at midday.